The US Navy has 11 aircraft carriers. China has 3. And in a war over Taiwan, China's timing matters more. Keep watching. The reason has nothing to do with how strong the US Navy is. It has to do with when it shows up. The same Navy, the same ships, the same sailors. In one ocean, the US Navy arrives first. In the other, it arrives late. That's the entire game. The Pacific is not about who has the stronger navy. It is about who is already there when the war starts. And in this video, I am going to show you why distance quietly became America's biggest enemy, and why the most important weapon in the US Navy right now is not a ship at all. It is a country, and it is not America. Here's the Gulf. 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. The United States Fifth Fleet sits in Bahrain, less than 200 miles from anywhere that matters. Fuel, ammunition, repair docks, air bases, all of it permanent. All of it already there. Iran has missiles. Iran has fast boats. Iran has mines. But Iran has no navy that can contest open water. The United States does not need to arrive in Hormuz. It is already there. That's what timing looks like when it is on your side. Short distances, permanent bases, a rival who can hurt you but cannot beat you before you respond. Now move that exact same equation to the Pacific. Watch what breaks. Look at these numbers for a second. Bahrain to Hormuz, 150 miles. San Diego to Taiwan, 6,500 miles. Guam to Taiwan, 1,700 miles. If a war starts over Taiwan, the US carrier sitting in San Diego takes about 14 days to get there. 14. A war over Taiwan might be decided in 14 days. And Guam, the closest major American base, is still 1,700 miles away. That's roughly the distance from New York to Denver. Imagine trying to defend Manhattan from Colorado. Here's the real asymmetry, and it's not about ships. China can act in hours. The United States arrives in weeks. That gap between decision speed and arrival speed is where wars are decided before they're fought. China has built the largest navy in the world by ship count, over 370 warships. Hypersonic anti-ship missiles engineered specifically to kill American carriers. Every one of those ships is already there, less than 100 miles from the Taiwan coast. In Hormuz, the US is inside the clock. In the Pacific, the US is outside of it. The Pentagon has known this for over a decade. And for the last 10 years, they've been quietly building the only thing that can fix it. The answer wasn't a new ship. This is Yonaguni. It is the westernmost inhabited island in Japan. It is 68 miles from Taiwan. 68 miles. A US aircraft carrier sailing from San Diego at full speed takes 2 weeks. A Japanese F-35 sitting on Yonaguni takes 6 minutes. 6 minutes. If you are the Pentagon and time is the thing killing you, then the answer is obvious. You do not need more ships. You need an ally who is already inside the clock. This is the JS Izumo. Officially, it is a helicopter destroyer. Look at it. That is an aircraft carrier. In 2018, Japan quietly announced it was converting 2 of these ships into light carriers capable of operating the F-35B, a vertical landing stealth fighter. For 70 years after World War II, Japan's constitution banned it from operating aircraft carriers. That constitutional wall was reinterpreted in under a year. Japan then ordered 147 F-35 aircraft. Today, it is the second largest operator of F-35 aircraft on Earth, behind only the United States. It secured rights to assemble the jets domestically at a Mitsubishi facility in Nagoya. It signed intelligence sharing agreements with Washington, tighter than any other United States ally in Asia. Here is what actually happened. It is the deepest part of this whole story. Japan is not helping the United States project power in the Pacific. Japan is what makes United States power arrive on time. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Japan was not the only US ally with options. South Korea sits right there too. Same alliance, same treaty, Same access to American weapons. South Korea ordered the F-35 at nearly the same time. Same starting line. Today, South Korea operates 40 F-35 aircraft. Japan operates almost 4 times that. South Korea has no operational carrier. Japan has 2. And South Korea was denied the F-35 final assembly rights Japan was given. So what happened? Geography happened. Seoul sits 35 miles from the DMZ, on a land border with a nuclear-armed hostile state. South Korea's entire military has to face north. Artillery, armor, short-range air power. Every one they spend is a one they can't spend looking at the Pacific. Japan has no land border, no hostile neighbor touching its soil. Tokyo was free to look outward. Seoul has never had that luxury. One ally became the tip of the American spear, already inside the clock and ready on day one. The other is pinned in place by geography it didn't choose. This wasn't strategy, this was topography. So run the scenario. China moves on Taiwan. The first 72 hours decide everything. The US Pacific Fleet is steaming west. It will not be in the fight in time. Who is? Japan, alone, holding the line until America arrives. That is the strategic reality Washington has been quietly building toward for 10 years. The US Navy is not planning to win the first week of a Pacific war. It is planning to survive it, with Japan long enough for the rest of the fleet to show up. Let that sit for a second. The most powerful navy in human history is planning on its most important front to be the backup. In Hormuz, the US Navy is the answer. In the Pacific, the US Navy is part of the answer, and it is not the part that arrives first. That is not the posture of a dominant ocean power. That is the posture of a coalition power. And the most dangerous sentence in this entire video is this one. If Japan hesitates, the clock runs out before America gets there. 2 oceans, 2 different wars. In the Gulf, distance is short. The bases are built. The Navy is already there. The rival can't beat the clock. In the Pacific, distance is everything. The bases are exposed. The rival owns the opening hours. The Navy wins only because of allies who decided, years in advance, to be inside the clock on day one. Every F-35 rolling off the Nagoya line is one less ship the Navy has to sail halfway across the world. Every Izumo sortie is 1 minute the United States buys back from the distance. Modern naval power isn't measured in ships. It's measured in how fast your force can matter. Japan spent 10 years learning how to matter fast. China spent 10 years building a clock the United States can't beat alone. And the United States spent 10 years realizing that the most important weapon in the Pacific isn't one it builds, it's one it already has. The United States still has the most powerful navy in the world, but in the Pacific, power that arrives late doesn't decide wars. If this decoded the Pacific for you, the next one decodes something closer to home. Why the US Air Force quietly solved a problem at Hormuz that the US Navy could not. Using a 50-year-old aircraft the Pentagon keeps trying to retire. Subscribe, that is the next one.